Greetings, Bat fans! Yep, we're here continuing our look at the Batman collection DVD set that I have. That's right, we're on part 3. Last time was part 2. So, that's right. So today we're going to sit back, talk about Batman Forever here on the Media Files. Welcome back. So, yeah, Batman Forever. Once again, another movie that got released in June, this time in 1995. Yeah. One thing I had forgotten to mention on the Batman Returns review is that I do have the soundtrack, and that was the first ever CD that I had ever gotten. Yeah, I got that for Christmas. That's just a little side note. I forgot to bring it down and show it off, but maybe I'll do some soundtrack reviews in the future. That actually might be some interesting aspect. Yes, I do love music. So, anyways, Batman Forever. So this came out in June of 1995, and let's just say Warner Brothers kind of listened to the parents of the last movie, considering the last movie was kind of dark and they need to brighten things up a little bit. So, with that, Tim Burton was in a meeting with the heads of Warner. They're like, "Yeah, you don't want me to do another one, do you?" And they're like, "Not really. I mean, you kind of got your own thing." He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." He's like, "I kind of had what I needed to say," so they decided to hire none other than the Lost Boys director Joel Schumacher to direct the next Batman movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually an interesting choice. And I tell you what, they definitely brightened this movie up big time. You got neon lights. You got, basically it's almost like Batman Goes to Chinatown, basically, or Hong Kong, or wherever. You got all those street lights, New York, all this and that. You got those really weird, Dutch angles, and it's loud, it's obnoxious, but it's also pretty funny at times. So, with Tim Burton out of the way, and with Michael Keaton decided not to return. So, steps in Val Kilmer to play Batman. And I tell you what, though, he does a pretty interesting job of this. It's a pretty interesting take on it. And so, not only that, though, now we have literally basically an all-new cast. So we have Val Kilmer as Batman, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, the awesome Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Yeah, 2 villains for the price of 1. Again. So then we have the love interest, played by Nicole Kidman. But, this time, Batman needs a little bit of backup. So in pops in my favorite character of the Batman franchise of all time when I was a kid, Robin. That's right, played by Chris O'Donnell. I was so excited when I found out that Robin was going to be in the next Batman movie, because my dad was working at a newspaper at the time, and he found out about it, and so he brought me home an article and saying that they had casted Robin in the next movie, and I'm like, Robin's going to be in it? Because I was a huge fan of the animated series as a kid. I watched that cartoon growing up. I still watch it to this day. It's awesome. If you have not watched any of that, watch it. Yes, it's from the 90s. It uses Danny Elfman's original score, but you know what? That's just for the theme. But Robin was in that show. I absolutely loved Lauren Lester's take on Robin. And I was actually Robin, I think, for a couple years for Halloween, if memory serves me right. But then, I had Robin. I had some Robin comics, and I actually had, believe it was there was a trilogy of comics that came out, and I just read those things left and right. And I hope someday that they will do an animated film of that trilogy. So, back to Batman Forever. Yes, I did a little Robin love there. So, with that, we have an all-new Batmobile, and it looks kind of like a weird H.R. Giger alien thing with a really long bat tail. But what can I say? I mean, you got the suit up sequence that happens, and not only that though, but before that, you have literally a brand new Batman theme composed by not Danny Elfman, but by Elliot Goldenthal. Yeah, he went on. He's done tons of great scores, including Heat. Before he did Batman, he did Alien 3. I'm not sure what else he did. He also did what was it? Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, that's a great score there. So Elliot Goldenfeld's score is not really operatic this time around, like Elfman's was. It's more of like if you're a kid, whenever you're playing with toys and you just kind of create, you create your own music in your head and you just kind of spill it out. That's basically what this new Batman theme is. It's more like an overture type of theme. So after you see this really cool intro with, the names going over, sound effects going, being created for each name, then you have the all new symbol that comes flying in with headlights going all over the place. And then he just churns this green, foreverish, loud thing, and whoosh! Here's Bruce, dressing up in the new Bat outfit. He goes out to the Batmobile, and I kid you not, it's literally the exact same lines as that McDonald's commercial. Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir? I'll hit drive-through. And sure enough, that is the exact same thing as it is in the movie. I mean, I kid you not, they use that exact same footage. I'm like, did they use the McDonald's commercial for this? But overall, I mean, it's such, this movie was a vast improvement over the second film. Much better done. So now we have Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and wow, such a great performance from him. I mean, he acts all kooky and, serious whenever he's Harvey Dent, but when he becomes Two-Face, it's like he's just cracking jokes left and right. And, and he just kind of, he changes his voice a little bit where he's kind of like, well, I'm kind of talking like this, but then when I'm Two-Face, I'm all like that. He kind of does that thing with his tongue a little bit. But, I mean, just, he's so good. And then you got the goons in there, which, they're all, it's kind of funny. You look at the goons from the last movie, then you have the new guys that are like these big, huge, muscularly, bulky type guys. And, it's just, it's kind of funny because then, Batman takes him out with ease, which is nothing. But, and then so later on, you got, you get introduced to Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So, yeah, I mean, what can I say about his performance? I mean, I absolutely love Jim Carrey in this. Now, this is hot off the heels of after he did Ace Ventura. When he made that movie, he became instantly hot like that, and so he went off to do the Riddler. And wow, such a great take on on this character. There's a lot of inspiration from the Frank Gorshin version of the character. You can tell, but a lot of it still is Jim himself improvising whatever he can, just doing whatever he does with his facial features, his body language, and all that great stuff. I mean, but still, I mean, there's just this one scene in the movie where after the events that take place at the Hippodrome, which we'll get to here in just a second, which actually has the introduction of Robin. Actually, we should probably go into that first, actually. So, Bruce, a.k.a. Batman, sees Dr. Chase Meridian, she's just a psychiatrist that shows up out of nowhere. She has the hots for Batman. She wants to bone him, like pretty much everybody does in Black Leather or what have you. Let's be honest. That's basically why she's there. Okay, that's basically why she wants Batman, but she wants Bruce Wayne. But you can't picture that it's the same person. Check out the mouth right here, right there. That should tell you enough right there, Chase. But completely oblivious as usual. So they go to the circus, which is known as which is located at the Hippodrome. And what's really cool about that is that the font that they use for the Hippodrome is the exact same font that they used for the animated series. So then Robin gets introduced, and it's basically the same story as the Robin's Reckoning duology episode of the animated series. Basically, Robin's parents get killed off at in a trapeze accident or a circus accident, and he's the only one remaining. However, the difference between the two stories is that in this movie they give him a brother, and he's just there basically for a few scenes, and he's never really mentioned again. And apparently, I don't know exactly if that's in from a certain comic or what that is, but I'm sure it was made just for the movie. So, as you know, as Two-Face gets involved, you know, he starts creating massive mayhem, and Edward Nigma is at his little apartment. He's watching this thing live. So after this event that happens, he's in there. He gets all mindset that he wants to become a villain, and he wants to do, go out into the, evil villainy, and make a name for himself. So he's just sitting there at his little computer or whatever, and he goes, "The Puzzler." Boo. Yeah, this animatronic thing where it makes like a sound like a good yes, or this like as in no type of thing. And then he goes on with another thing, and he goes, "The Gamester." Boo. But then my favorite line is he has this idea, and he starts clicking different buttons and stuff, and he goes, "Captain Kill." Just the way he does it with his face, I'm dying laughing every time I see it. Just the way he does it with his face and his fingers. Captain Kill. Boo. Oh, I love that. And then, so then he finally, the thing decides to ring, and he goes, and it gives him the idea that literally the Riddler outfit is literally right there in his face the entire time, and he figures it out. And so with that, now Batman has to deal with two villains, Two-Face and the Riddler. So they go off on a big crime spree, and no sign of Batman. Batman's, kind of getting sidetracked by this new chick that he's kind of dealing with. And, they somehow manage to figure out that Bruce is Batman. And they managed to get into the Batcave. Now, you would think that Bruce Wayne, being Bruce Wayne, with him taking as much time as he did to set up the Batcave with Alfred and all of that they would actually have, eyewitness scans, highest security possible. Nope. Riddler figures that out real quick, and he destroys the Batmobile. Once again, Jim Carrey does this goofy thing with his face that he does. And he does the whole little like that with the little bat bombs that he uses to explode the, like the sides of the cave, which I'm not sure there's actually really anything there, but he just does this type of thing with his face. And then it cuts to him doing a little scene from, as a baseball pitcher, and you literally have the baseball doot thing, and then he does the usual man thing, spitch, does the crotch grab thing. And, at the same time, Bruce is trying to fight off all these guys as Bruce Wayne. That's something we don't really see in a Batman movie very often. We don't really see Bruce Wayne fighting. It's Batman usually doing the fighting. But we get two scenes of it. We get him doing that in the circus and as well as in Wayne Manor itself. But, come on. Jim Carrey just, he takes over the movie whenever he's in the whole thing. But so then, now let's move on to the character of Robin. So, I could talk about Jim Carrey forever as the Riddler in this movie. It's just a fantastic performance. So, so Chris O'Donnell as Robin. I could not wait to see what they would do with this character. And they literally pay an homage to Burt Ward, where he tells Batman, "Holy rusted metal, Batman." It's literally, he has to explain him what's holy. And that's basically the nod to the 60s series. But, but not only that, though, you get a brand new Batwing in this movie. And they also introduce a new Bat boat. Yeah, now there was the Bat ski boat in the second movie, which I forgot to mention, but it's only in for like one brief little scene, and it never really got destroyed. So but like I said, they had to redo everything. But Chris O'Donnell in this movie, he's awesome in this flick. And he just he's pretty much such a really really good actor. And if you have not watched him in any of like the CSI or I think it's NCIS or whichever cop drama that he's in, he's really good at that. Um, but I mean, not only that though, you get the classic, Robin look where he's wearing the I believe it's the Neil Adams outfit that was redesigned, where he's got more of the ninja look, which is the blue, not the blue, but the red and the green long pants. He doesn't have the wingtip shoes like he had in the '60s series, but he does have the yellow cape, which is the interior part of his cape, but it's black on the outside. Thank God. But I tell you what, though, when Bruce finally realizes that he can't fight, both these two guys alone, he finally decides, hey, I need to have a partner. I'll let you in on this, but this is, you got to do what I say, type of thing. So Robin agrees, and the sequence that takes place afterwards, you have this scene where you first see the Batwing, but it has this weird shot where you can't tell if that's the bottom or if it's the top or what. But then it goes back to this other shot where you actually see the cockpit and the top tail and stuff. It's a weird, awkward shot. But just when Elliot Goldenthal's score just kicks into gear, and that those two, they're off to save the day, and you got the Batboat and the Batwing going off to Edward Nygma's hideout. And it's just a big old neon light building, and it's awesome. And then not only that though, once again, Edward Nygma steals the scene. They play Battleship. Yes, they literally play Battleship in this movie. And, I'm like, that's kind of original, kind of, really, if you think about it, because, who would have thought that, I don't know if Nygma figured out that he also had these other two vehicles in there besides the Batmobile or what, but he came prepared, and they literally play Battleship. That's probably my third favorite scene of the entire movie. But, I mean, what can I say more? I mean, they really, really up the ante for this movie, and it made a ton of money with this. And but what can I say? With the addition of having Robin, in this movie, it really, really made me feel so. It made me love Batman even more. I mean, sure, I loved it then, but I was so ecstatically excited that they were introducing this character. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this disc. Yeah, so like the other two, it's a 2-disc special edition. So this time around, we have Chase Meridian and Batman there with the Batmobile. On the second disc, we have none other than the villains, Riddler and Two-Face. Sorry, Robin, they didn't make the cut, but that's all right. You're on the front cover. So, first disc has commentary by Joel Schumacher, as well as a few additional scenes. So on to one thing I should mention before I should go on to this. You know what? Actually, now I think about it, I'll save that for the next movie. Yeah, you'll figure this out. Okay, so special features on the second disc. We have Riddle Me This. Why is Batman Forever? How a new director and cast created a new vision of Gotham's classic good and bad guys. Shadows of the Bat, the cinematic saga of The Dark Knight Part 5, Reinventing a Hero. Beyond Batman Documentary Gallery, Out of the Shadows, the production design of Batman Forever. The Many Faces of Gotham City. Night Moves, the stunts of Batman Forever. Imagining Forever, the visual effects of Batman Forever. And Scoring Forever, the music of Batman Forever. Also, there's a music video by Seal, Kiss from a Rose. Yep, you all should know that song by now. It's been played enough. And there's also the Heroes and Villains profile galleries, just like the other two. But this, there was so much hype for this movie that they released a various artists soundtrack that had U2, Seal, The Offspring, who also was in it? The Flaming Lips, lots of great artists. Such a great song. But, you know, Kiss from a Rose, and which by Seal, was one of the top soundtrack, you know, music pieces from that year, as well as U2's Hold Me, Kiss Me, no, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, which is the title song used in the end credits for this. And wow, I mean, if that my Kiss from a Rose though was so huge, the song ended up getting used again in not a Batman movie, but in the Vacation movie. Yes, the remake slash reboot of the Vacation movies, which is the fifth movie, by the way. Yeah, the one with Ed Helms, and you know which scene it is when you see it. But yeah, I mean, this movie was so well done, and you know, it basically made a lot more money than what Warner Brothers was expecting to make. And so, with that hot off the trails of that movie, they decided, hey, we need to do a sequel real quick. We need to get, you know, keep the iron hot while it's going. And we'll get into this one on the next time. So keep it here. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know, what can I say? Look out! The worst is yet to come!